guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division show. Delighted to welcome Luke McQuillan onto the show. Luke, how are you today?
Oh, good. How about it?
Now we'll start off at Weavers Park, where finished Drogheda United 0, Derry City 1. And from Derry City's point of view, first of all, it was a very good result. You could tell at the final whistle that they were relieved actually to get the 3 points, particularly after losing on Friday. Puts them a couple of points off Bows now, 3 points off Bows to the top of the table. Adam O'Reilly's goal, which was a decent strike, actually, to be fair to him, from outside the box, gave them the winner. And, it was a game where Derry definitely will feel that they grinded out the result. And I suppose, again, from Drogheda's point of view, I feel like we're going to be repeating ourselves a little bit, particularly with the home games, where played some decent stuff, put Derry under pressure for a lot of parts of the game, but again, missed chances. You had Draper's shot that hit the bar, which is unlucky, I have to say. That one's unlucky. But I know Brian Maher's got plaudits for making two very good saves. I think the second one in particular was a very good save. But I do think with the first one, I know he rushes back, he gets across well. You're 2 yards out and you have a header. You have to score that. It's not in any corner. Like, you got to make sure. And if that's even close to the corner, Freddie Draper's header, Brian Maher hasn't had a chance in hell of getting there. And that could have got a point for Drogheda. Again, they probably feel like they deserved the point. But again, Kevin Doherty probably feels like himself. He's repeating himself every week. And you can't fault the effort or the attitude or the application or anything like that. But, they're missing an awful lot of good chances. And, they put it up to a very, very good Derry side as well. Let's be real. You know what I mean? I've seen so-called better sides in Drogheda this season not put it up to Derry, let's say. So, whereas the performance is good from Drogheda's point of view, it's a little bit disappointing to be missing those chances again, isn't it?
It's probably the same in every game. It's so
Especially at
frustrating.
home, especially it seems to be the case, especially in Weavers Park. Away from home, it seems to be a little bit different for some reason.
Yeah, but even we're just in every game we're playing, we're creating
Yeah.
chances and not taking them. You just in this the sort of we're one of the so-called weaker sides. You have to take your chances. You know what I mean? You really do, and if you don't, you'll get punished for that. And we get punished for that. That chance, Freddie, it's 2 yards out. All you have to do is put it either side the goal. It's a goal. You know what?
He doesn't even have to find the corner, just even
No,
close to the corner, and Mar hasn't a hope.
no, that's it. But sure, look, it's frustrating. Hopefully, we're just not really getting any sort of luck. Not really getting the rub of the green at the minute. So, look, I think if you need to keep going with it, your luck will change eventually.
Mm.
But
Mm.
look, I think people can be quite hard on Freddie. I think he is a very, very good player. I think he's got the highest XG in the league. I think he's got them. Look, he's obviously missed the most chances as well in the league. I think he's got the biggest chance misses as well. I seen a stat there this morning on that actually. So he's young and he's raw, but he's going to turn out to be a really, really good player. And we're seeing glimpses of how good a player he actually is. So I just think people are being hard on him, and his luck will change. You know what I mean? But just obviously, you have to put the ball in the net as a striker, and he'll know himself that he probably isn't doing it enough. But he obviously, he is getting chances. It's just
But even apart from that, Luke, to be fair to him, I do think he puts himself about. So he will occupy defenders. He'll put them under pressure. He's got a little bit of acceleration for a big guy as well, I think. And look, he's usually involved in a game. But if the funny thing is, if you can translate into those chances, a lot of those chances into goals, then you're talking about a really good striker. That's the point, you know what I mean? Because he does. It's not as if he's getting chances, but he's not really in the game. He can run the channels, he can hold up the ball, he can get in behind. He's causing defenders a lot of issues. So, that's the good thing. But I wouldn't even put it on him as such, as you say. Drogheda as a collective have been missing chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just in this particular game, it was more him, let's say. But there's been other games where Marky's missed some great chances, or even Ryan Brennan, who's a good finisher, has missed some great chances or whatever. That kind of way. And it's a little disappointing for them because they've only scored 11 goals this season. Now they're 5 points clear of Cork. And for me, they still look a much better side than Cork, to be honest. So, that's a thing as well. And it's a little disappointing, but they're away next week, so they'll probably do better away. They seem to be doing better away at the moment.
It's just really important to keep going because, as you said, we're 5 points ahead of Cork, and all you need is one decent result because Cork at the minute just don't look. They just don't look it. I don't know. Obviously they lost their manager and all that, and a few different things have happened, but they're just not looking probably on paper like a great squad. You know what I mean? So you need to, and then obviously UCD are UCD will take points off teams. That's the thing with UCD. You know what I mean? But you need to, while these teams are losing, sort of like what we done last season quite well was we picked up points that were at important times. Like I think I remember the beating Finn Harps on the Friday and then beating Shamrock Rovers on the Monday. Like they were 6 very important points, and probably 6 points that probably kept you up. Like, do you know what I mean? And went a long way towards doing that. So I just think it's important to keep going and, you know, to not lose hope, because, you know, we're still ahead of Cork and UCD. So you could just get 1 or 2 good results now over the next couple of weeks, and, you know, you'll be pulling away from them, like, you know, that type of way.
I suppose before we leave this one, from Derry's point of view, you know, after a couple of, you know, the Shamrock Rovers result would have disappointed them
Yeah.
big time. So, and they've gone to Drogheda in recent years, and a lot of the games have been draws, actually, to be fair. Even the cup win was a draw, like, you know what I mean, ended up in penalties and that kind of thing. So, you know, it's a massive, actually, 3 points to come away from Weavers Park and the way Drogheda played as well to get those 3 points. So just to stay in touch with Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians, to be fair, because you know, they'll want to be in the mix. They've got Duffy back and that kind of thing. They could probably do with Connolly back, if I'm honest with you, as well. I know, you know what I mean? I mean, they let a lot of chances. They let Drogheda, let's say, create a lot of chances as well in this game too. And they'll be disappointed with that. So they could do with Connolly back as well. And Connolly's a figure for them, I think, a bit like Pico Lopez is for Shamrock Rovers in a way. When Lopez is missing, you can talk about the great squad these teams have, but you always need your key players. And I suppose with Derry, you know, they're still in there, like, aren't they? To be fair, they're still in there. There will be, I'm still convinced they'll be in the top 2 anyway, to be honest.
Oh yeah, still early as well. Man, so like they're not like way off it as well. So as you said, only a few points off the top 2 teams. So like realistically, like if they can just keep going and keep picking up results, they will they'll be up there. Like, so it's just about them for keep going and that. And look, they're a good side, and they've got some really good players, and I think their keeper is very important to them as well. Like, keepers win you games and they win you points in a season, and when you're going for league titles, you certainly look back at moments that keepers, you know, pulled off some saves and that, and, you know, won you so many points and that. So that's obviously important as well. So look, fair play to Brian Marty. He's one of probably the top goalkeeper in the country at the minute. So there's some unbelievable saves in that game.
Yeah, definitely. Finished Cork City 2, St. Patrick's Day 3 at Turner's Cross. 2 managerless teams going into this game. And Carty opened the scoring for Pats early on. Afalabi and Whitmarsh by the 20th minute had Cork 2-1 up. And by the 30th minute, there were chances. Mulroney hit the bar for Pats. Keating should have scored a header. He just completely took his eye off the ball. That would have been 3-1. Like, you know, that kind of way. It's amazing how these things change. And Mark Doyle had a chance as well. It just seemed like both teams are going for it. And you know, Murphy ended up getting the winner with 10 minutes to go for Pat's first goal for his first senior football, his first senior goal. Actually, he's 18.
Yeah.
So look, from Pat's point of view, they'll say job done. 3 points. Again, the defending, it's just not good enough from Pat's, you know, all season. You know, only Cork and UCD have conceded more goals. You see the first goal that Sunday got. Lewis. I'm not sure what Noah Lewis is doing there. And like, you don't like picking out players, but I don't know, he's been very poor in most of the games this season. Like, you know, he has, let's be honest. It doesn't have the Joe Redmond isn't there to kind of lead the defence, but they just give away very soft goals, Pats, and even the Whitmarsh header, it was a good header from outside the box, but for me, the keeper should be doing better there from a header from outside the box, in my opinion.
Oh.
I'm not going to be too harsh on Linus, because he's been excellent since he came in, to be fair. And he's been called upon probably far too much that he should be, you know. But I suppose from Pat's point of view, they'd be happy that they controlled the second half, got back into the game. Mulroney scored a ridiculous goal. And you know, Chris Forrester seemed to play very well in this game as well. Like, you know, when sometimes I feel he has to play well. You know, if he doesn't play well, you're kind of going, what do Pats do here? But they scored a decent amount of goals, Pats, as a unit, like, but they conceded an awful lot of goals as well. 6th in the league, 20 points, a couple of points off Dundalk or now 4th. It's just switching over those teams, like, you know what I mean? But from Cork's point of view, I suppose they do create chances. They do create chances and score some goals, I suppose, Cork City. They scored 17 goals this season, for example. Drogheda scored 11, who are 5 points ahead of them. Do you know what I mean? But they just look quite open at the back as well, and kind of easy to penetrate at times. And it's hard to know where to go from here as such, because they're in an awkward position there. But for Pats, yeah, look, it's 3 points, but any problems that people thought might have been eradicated because Clancy's gone, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case.
No, look, it's there is problems, obviously. It's not like you can't really blame Tim, obviously, for that. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, something there. Like, I don't know what it is.
Obviously, they need a new manager as well, because let's be fair, John Daly
Yeah,
was part of the coaching team, and I always find that a bit funny, like, you know, that kind of way, because the
we,
ideas are
we
going to be similar.
asked as well on paper. The Pat squad's not as like
It's not as good as people thought it was, let's say, or
yeah,
some people might have thought it was. It isn't. It really isn't. Now, there's some
no,
players I think they're underperforming, and you could argue they could do better in certain ways, like the way they've defended. But on paper and for the budget they have, it isn't as good as what the squad maybe should be, I think, in my opinion.
sure. Jamie Lennon went right back there the other night, and I thought he was brilliant.
To be fair, you give John Daly credit for that, like to recognise
Yeah,
something there, and he did
yeah,
put, as you say, right back and brought Murphy on in the second half of the midfield. Murphy's a
but,
very good player; he brings energy to it, and obviously
mm,
scored goals. So you have to give Daly credit for that. But I mean, the overall function of the side, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah. Look, there's obviously something there. There's an issue. I don't know exactly. Like, it's hard to put the finger on it, but like there is obviously like Pats are. I don't know. I really don't. But look, they just got to keep going. You know what I mean? They've got to. They do have good players. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, look, losing Redmond for a couple of months is a big loss. Like, obviously, he's a very very good player.
Yeah, I mean, we were
He's
talking about Connolly and Lopez there missing for Rovers
yeah,
and Derry. You could throw Redmond in that mix for Pats, like.
yeah, he's that figure. Like, he's that key player. Like, you need him in your team. Like, you know what I mean? And it's sort of like, I think every good sort of team have them players that, like, if he's not in the team don't really click the same sort of way. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I think Forrest would be another one for Pats, because obviously, look, I thought he's brilliant from what I've seen in the highlights. Just everything was just coming through him, and
It
just
just makes
create.
everything look easy at times, though, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
one
That's the
pass he played.
thing with him.
There was one pass he played in behind to Mark Doyle, like, and it's just
The
like,
weight of it.
like,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's
yeah,
just, it's
yeah,
top class. Like, so
yeah.
look, he's a top player, absolute top player, and you hate playing against him because he's just like, he's so good. So yeah, look, very good player, and obviously, look, it's a good win for Pats. They'll be delighted that they got a win away from home against Cork, especially. Look, going down there, it's not an easy place to go to. Not many teams will go down there and blow Cork out of the water, like, you know what I mean. But they in fairness to Pats, they really stuck at it. They went 2-1 down, got back into the game, and they got the 3 points, and it's a big 3 points for them, and they're not far off, you know, Europe. So look, they need to keep going. They need to get a manager in over the next sort of probably over the next few days. They need to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I would say they can't go beyond, say, the Drogheda game. That's the last
yeah,
game you can have, if you know what I mean, without appointing a new manager. Because otherwise, it
yeah,
looks like they have a plan. Like, because if you're going to sack a manager, okay, he wasn't sacked, but you know what I mean. If you're going to lose a manager, you got to have a plan, particularly when they wouldn't have been in an awful position. Like I said to someone the other day, like if you look at Dundalk and similar to Pats this season away, would they sack O'Donnell? No. So you know what I
no,
mean. You got to
look,
have a plan.
you have to, yeah. Look, because fans will become like, if it goes on, the fans will lose patience and that, and it will become a bit of a toxic place. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they need to, like, sort that out, get the manager in, whoever it's going to be. Look, we're seeing different names. You can't predict it. You really can't. Seeing different names being thrown around. So you're hearing different things, and you just have to kind of wait to see what approach they take. It's gonna be a big. It has to be a big approach. You know what I mean? Because they
If I
have
had to
to.
throw it out there, I think the Barraclough one would be one to get, to be honest with you, because the experience he's
Yeah,
had, what he's done with Sligo.
yeah,
Maybe he'd have good contacts in England with players and stuff like that, because the recruitment of Pats can be very up and down, like very up and down. You can get a really good player and then a really bad player, like, and the balance then isn't there. But you know, he'd have to be in full control. But then from Cork City's point of view, it'd be interesting to see where they go. And funny enough, Tim Clancy is you know, linked with a move there as well. Like, you know, which would be interesting if he went down to Cork, and there'd be some commute from Trim, I think, you know what I mean? But he's also been linked with Clifton Will as well, so that might suit him better. Who knows? Well, he's friends with Dermot Usher, the owner of Cork, so be interesting to see what happens at Cork as well. And they're in the same boat, really. They need to get a manager as soon as possible as well, I think.
yeah. It'd be a good appointment, I think, for Cork. I think, like, he kind of worked well. Like, obviously, not kind of worked well with Drogheda. He did work well with Drogheda. He was, you know, like, unbelievable. Had us playing, performing way above where we should be. And look, that's Kev's. I still think Kev's doing the same.
Yeah, very
But
much.
like, him really did do a good job. I think his man management is top class. I think his, you know, the way he approaches the game and that. But like, he has to sort of. The thing I noticed with Tim, and we said it 100 times, the thing is with Tim that kind of did work with Pat's, the fullbacks. His fullbacks with Drogheda were his two most important players, I thought. And when they weren't fit, you could see Drogheda weren't, you know, as fluid. Whereas when they two lads, James Brown and Connor Kane, were fit and to 100%. Like we were top, like everything was coming through them two. Like, you know what I mean? The two wings.
I
So
think that's massive because as well, I think before we move on, I think this season a lot of the time he's been forced to use systems and formations that he didn't really like to use. If you look when he went through his biggest form at Pats last season, it was that three at the back scenario as well, and you Cotter on the right, Breslin on the left, and everything else functioned off that. And I can say, I can see his Drogheda style coming in here with Pats now. But then that went away because of the recruitment, and I think that's been a serious problem this season. I look at Cork at the moment, and they won't be very strong at full back. That's the problem.
no. Look, that's it. But he could go in there now, and he'll use his experience with Drogheda, and could really help Cork. But it wouldn't be a thing where if he goes in, we're expecting a quick fix. I reckon that's a long-term kind of thing, and it'd be important that they stick with him, and the fans stick with him. But
even if they went down, I think Cork have to look at it that way. Not they don't want to go down. I get that. But same time,
they'd come straight back up. Do you know what I mean?
Like so.
They with him, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
like realistically, they'll build a better squad. I think with him as manager. Do you know what I mean? He'll attract more players. Do you know what I mean? And better players, I think. So, his approach to it will be a lot better, I think, than probably what Colin Healy's was. So, you're really interested to see if he does go down there. As you said, it's a bit of a commute out from him, anyways.
She training, whatever matches. Yeah. Talca Park finished Shelbourne 1 UCD 0. Shane Griffin's goal after 39 minutes was some strike for a defender. And look, Shelbourne would be delighted just to get the 3 points and I suppose grind it out. UCD did have chances in this game, and to be fair, Kearns made an absolutely. Everyone was talking about Maher's save, but to be honest with you, Kearns' save at the end of this match from Behan, that was a proper save. Like, you know what I mean? You couldn't say. Whereas with Draper's one, we're kind of saying, I should have done this, should have that. With Behan, you're kind of going, what more can you do there? Nearly, it's a brilliant save by Kearns to give Kearns all 3 points. Like,
top goalkeeper, he really is.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he? Like he was okay at Galway, but he seems to have moved up a level again. He was actually a Pats who never played.
Yeah, even with Pats, he wasn't great, I thought.
He never really played, to be honest, Luke. I don't think he barely played a game, 1 or 2, literally, and that was it. Like,
But I thought he was involved a little bit more than that. But
Clark came in then,
I know when he went down to Galway, I was surprised that Shell signed him at the time, and then obviously now reckons he's the best goalkeeper in the league. And at the time, probably a couple of weeks ago, people were like, "Give over."
In form, you'd argue it.
He's the best goalkeeper in this. But I know Brian Maher, as I said earlier, he is the best goalkeeper in the country, without a doubt.
Up there, Manus is up there.
Yeah, but I really think that on form, the way the form has gone this season, I think Conor Kearns has to be mentioned. I think he probably has been the best performing goalkeeper. But still, I do still think Brian Maher is the best. Like, you know what I mean?
All round.
But I think Shels. I've seen a lot of things online. Shels fans are just happy to see the back of UCD for a little while. I just don't think they like playing against UCD. I think that there does be a bit of. I think the games to be a bit of a slog. Like I just don't. There's not a whole lot we can really talk about. But Shels beat 3 points and they're up to 4th as well. And look, they're doing a good job.
They're 5th now after Dundalk's win on Saturday. But the point is they're in the mix, like, and they've only lost 3 matches, like, as I've been saying, they're set up very hard to beat. I think from all the teams I've seen kind of live, I'd argue that they're the most hard-working team and best organised.
I said that.
Off the ball.
Yeah, I said that as well when we played them in a pre-season friendly up in the AUL. This Shels team are probably the fittest team in the league. They're so they're like unbelievable. They don't stop, and I know they've lost a few players. I mean, like I was looking over all their injured players and players suspended were stood, in United Park the other day, and they were all stood together. And I was saying, Jesus Christ, like that they're missing some serious players. Connor Kane, Sean Boyd, Shane Farrell, Gavin Malloy. There was 1 or 2 more that Keane Levy wasn't playing. Matty Smith didn't play. I was like, Jesus, there's some big losses, like so, and they're still doing well, and they're not letting that sort of bother them. So Dufford's done well. He built a good squad. Defensively quite strong. I think they were shaky against Drogheda. They're very shaky against Drogheda defensively, but they're a really sound team at the back. And look, they're doing quite well. I just think they want to get Boyd back in the team now, and you can get Boyd, Moylan, and Matty Smith or front three. You've got a serious front three there, like. I mean, so no, it's not.
No, I mean, they've definitely had a good start to such first 14 games overall, Shelbourne. I think they'd be happy enough with that. The Dublin Derby finished Shamrock Rovers 2, Bohemians 0, Trevor Clark 57, Gaffney 81. Now, a couple of things here. Obviously, a great win for Shamrock Rovers. They're a point behind Bows now. I still think they probably deserve to win the match, actually, but there are a few decisions like Clark did look slightly offside. However, it looked slightly offside, so you can kind of go, these things happen. But
That's a
at 1
better angle of
0,
it.
at 1-0 though, the penalty, Afolabi, like, it's a clear penalty. There's nothing more you can say about it. And it happens with that, and you've been in the away end there as well, where the linesman would have a great view of that as well. And I can't picture exactly sure where the referee was, but the linesman has to have a great view of that. How he doesn't give it, it's just simple. He goes across, wins the ball, Cleary comes late, takes him out of it, penalty. No penalty. What do you say? Like, I mean, really, like, I mean, as I said, I do think Shamrock Rovers deserve to win the game. Personally, I do, and I think they're a stronger team. Oh, it's an awful decision. The linesman, again, anyone who's been in the way end at Tallaght Stadium will know the position the linesman should be in a great position there to see. There's no one else in the box, by the way. There's no one
Last man.
obstructing the linesman. There
It's the
isn't
last,
4 or 5 players in the box. It's a 1-on-1. You have
it's
to
the
get
last
that
man.
right.
It's the last man as well. So if you look at
The red card also, just to throw in
no,
there.
yeah. So look, people are posting
You
on
have
social
to
media.
get them decisions right, though. Them decisions you have to get right.
It doesn't surprise me because it's just the level of officiating is absolutely. It's at an all-time low. It
And again, I
really
wouldn't
is.
care if this was Shamrock Rovers, Bohemians, Drogheda United, or Dundalk. I'd be saying the exact same thing. Like, it's a ridiculous
Yeah.
decision.
Realistically as well, look, you know what I mean. I just think the level of the officiating has gone in the last sort of little while. It's just in the last sort of probably couple of months, it's been really poor. It's probably at an all-time low. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's dreadful.
I mean, you've
Really is
seen the
dreadful.
one, for example. I mean, there's a lot of them, but the McGonigal one. Remember McGonigal? Was it Adrian who was the referee? Against, was it Sligo? Was it? He was clear through, and
It
he,
should happen last week as well.
yeah. I don't know.
Look, I don't know. Like, I just think there's too many. We're seeing too many moments this season where we're saying that's a penalty, that's a red card, this is that they're not getting. But they're ones that, like, anyone can see that. Do you know what I mean? Someone needs to help these officials out. I don't know. Like, what do you do there? Like,
but
do you know
again,
what I mean?
the referee probably should have a good view as well. But the lines should definitely have a good view. There's no obstruction whatsoever. Like, you can't see anything else unless you see
But
the
look,
butterfly and it was going like that. I don't know.
yeah, and look, it was the same in United Park last week, Weavers Park last week. Like, Ryan Brennan was taken out of it in the box, and like I don't know, what the referee's looking at. You know what I mean? Like, where's he looking? So look, it's disappointing that we were talking about this because I think the league is really, really improving and it's going up levels and levels and levels, and fans are coming into gates and attendances are going up. And I know I sound a little bit like Damien Duff here, but the officials aren't. So it's disappointing, but look, it's not surprising some of the decisions we're seeing, and it's just we're seeing too many situations in both divisions where we're saying this is this is this, and this is that, but there's nothing we can do about it. Do you know what I mean?
As for the result itself, like, again, a massive result for Shamrock Rovers, isn't it? And, I still think they're favourites for the league, and they did open up Bowes at times as well. Bowes had a couple of chances here and there and that, but it's just interesting because Bowes probably felt a little bit of pressure coming into this game because, it's unusual for them to be ahead of Shamrock Rovers in a big Dublin derby, that kind of way. But look, they're still in a good position, Bowes. They're top. They're not going to win it, in my opinion. If Bowes finish third, that's a great season, isn't it? If they finish third, it's a good season.
Absolutely. Way ahead of them where they probably thought they would be. So it's about just that up now, you know what I mean? And look, keep winning games. All they can do now is keep winning games. Take each game as it comes, and you never actually know. Like, you know what I mean? They could push a bit up, but I don't think they will. But you have to keep winning games, like, do you know what I mean? So if they keep winning games, they'll be fine and they'll do well and they will get Europe, and that's what they want. So and probably where a club like Bohemians deserve to be. Do you know what I mean? So the levels that they've probably seen over the last probably year, they'd probably be disappointed with, but they're suddenly now starting to see a bit more from their team, and they'll be delighted with that, and they'll be delighted with the job that Devine has done. But obviously, disappointing result. Big moment where the penalty wasn't given out. I think it was 1-0. It wasn't given out, wasn't it?
Rovers at the time, yeah.
But it really made the game turn. But who knows? We will never know. But look, big few weeks ahead for Bowes. They just need to keep winning games, and if they can do that, then they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Shamrock Rovers' point of view as well is just thinking with Trevor Clark getting another goal there, and it's kind of gone. They can lose Andy Lyons as a big loss, and then they can go and get someone like Trevor Clark. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's
It's
something they can do. Like, Lions might be a better player, but there's not many teams who can replace a player like Lions with a player like Clark as such. Do you know what I mean?
no,
That's what Shamrock
and
Rovers can do, and he's been very good in the last couple of weeks. I think it's still a bit dodgy defensively, but you get away with that wing back a little bit more than full back.
and he's scoring goals as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is big for that sort of thing as well. So look, he's a good player, and he's a big player for Rovers. And I think, like, realistically, as you said, it's not many teams in the league can replace players like Lions with players like Trevor Clark. So fair play to they got that sort of recruitment right there, and it was a good signing. So it's working out well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sligo Rovers 0, Dundalk 1 at the Showgrounds on Saturday. Um, it's funny, keep words like goal there, but Dundalk are the team now with the fourth now. Like, they were 7th or 8th. They were 8th actually a couple of weeks ago, weren't they? Behind Drogheda. And now Sligo are the team going slightly down. So this Dundalk, Shelbourne, Pat Sligo thing, it's just kind of changing every week. And now suddenly Dundalk have 3 wins in a bounce, with Cork coming to Oriel next week, which you'd fancy them for 4 wins in a bounce. And it was a great result for them. There was chances for both teams in this game as well. But the goal, though, Sligo have to be disappointed. To let Keith Ward, a small guy, win a header like that late in the game. The two centre backs were standing in front of each other at the front post. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, Tulloch, it's not as if Leahy gets the ball into the box, but Tulloch and Leahy are playing with it a bit for about 10 seconds there, so they've a chance to organise themselves before Leahy gets across in. How you're letting Keith Ward as well, don't get me wrong. Christ, you shouldn't be letting Keith Ward get into a position like that with two centre backs standing beside each other. They'd be fuming at that Sligo, I think, the way they lost.
I'd say he wasn't surprised. I'd say he wasn't. I'd say he was quite surprised.
Keith Ward header himself. He takes it well.
Surprised when he got into the box and realised I'm free here. Someone stick it on my head, So look, a great finish and big 3 points for Dundalk. Tough place to go to, and especially when if you're pushing for Europe and you're playing against them sort of teams that are in the same sort of position as far off, you need to be winning them, and they've done that the last couple of weeks, Dundalk. So big 3 points for them, and they've really turned it around. So they just need to keep going. As you said, they've Cork now coming to Oriel, and I think you would fancy them. You really would. So they could make a 4 on the bounce, and suddenly again you're looking further up the table. So that's good for them. You know what I mean? But they just have to keep going, and not really pay too much attention to it, because look, they're still missing a few players with injuries and that, and they've still got players to come back, and I still don't think Hoban is fully fit.
No.
But he will get there, obviously. So they're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, McNicholas, made a few good saves as well. One particularly from John Martin as well. But Shepherd made a very good save in the first half. Was it Mata? It was Mata, I think, as well, wasn't it? Or was it Mata? Yeah, it was Mata. But Mata be disappointed with 1 or 2 opportunities he's actually had in this game. And the header where he kind of headed down over the bar. And I think he headed like that because he saw the 2 Dundalk defenders in front of him. So he thought maybe if he headed straight, he would just hit the defender. But he'd be a little disappointed with that. But they lost Hartman. He came off at half time and he looked very sharp in that first half as well. So that would have been a big loss to him, because he's a good player. He can he kind of takes the ball on the right but comes inside, and he's a very good passer of the ball. He finds gaps in behind and stuff. And he was penetrating a bit in the first half. So he was a major loss for them when he went off. But Sligo, they're doing okay. But as I say, the 3 points went fourth. They're in 7th place. There's a bit of a gap now over Drogheda at the moment, 5 points. But they're doing all right, aren't they? It's hard to judge these teams because there's not an awful lot between them. That's the point, isn't it?
It just swings around about. It's Sligo could pick up 2 good results, and then we're saying how good they are. You know what I mean? So it's you can't judge it. It's still early as well. So I think when gaps start to form, we'll be able to sort of see. But it's so close.
To form.
I say they will. You know what I mean? I say they will. I think 1 or 2 teams will sort of get their act together and sort of put a run of results together. I think Dundalk starting to do that, but will they continue? Obviously hard to know, but look, Sligo just need to keep going with it, because they're not far off it, and that's the thing. I don't keep saying to keep going, but it's everyone is in the same sort of position in that sort of middle of the table, so get 1 or 2 good results, you're looking up the table, so just have to do that,
Yes, it's madness. We'll give our predictions for Friday's games and Saturday's game. Yes, Sligo Shelbourne on Saturday, but an interesting one at Daily. Remember, Bowles played Derry City, and obviously Bowles will be hoping to bounce back, but big game for Derry City as well, who were beaten at home to Bowles. They were beaten at home to Bowles. Dean Williams scored earlier on in the season. So, yeah, that's an interesting one on Friday. How are you seeing that one?
Tough one to call, actually. Very tough one to call.
Derry
You
seem
know
to be
what?
better away generally, though, don't they?
Yeah, I reckon 1-1.
Yeah, I think Derry might. I think they'll win this one. I think Derry will go and win 2-1. Dundalk and Cork at Oriel, we kind of spoke about briefly there, and God knows if Cork will have a manager by then or not. But either way, you'd still have to fancy an informed Dundalk in this one. Cork look like they can see goals. Looks like they can score goals, to be fair, as well. But
Yeah, yeah. No, I think Dundalk are going to win this one. I think they'll win it comfortably enough. I think it'll be 3-1.
I was going 3-1 as well. So, St Patrick's Leg and Drogheda United, and strangely enough, Drogheda United's away form, you'd have to say, in terms of points, have been better in the last couple of weeks, and they seem to do better at Richmond Park than they do at United Park, or you know what I mean, when they play Pats generally, which is strange because Drogheda are generally quite good at home. But again, what state are Pats going to be coming into this game? Drogheda have had a couple of problems recently with their full backs, haven't they? Ayu came off injured there the other day as well. So, and what's the story at left back for them as well? Weir will probably be out again. So,
Aaron McNally's gone slotted in there, and he has been brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. He's been probably one of the best performing players over the last couple of weeks. Like, he's been excellent. So, really, really good to see. Like, it's not a sort of position he's used to playing. So, he's doing well there, McNally. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you calling this one?
It's a tough one to call, actually. I'll probably go 1-0 Pats.
Oh, I think Pats will concede. I definitely think they'll concede. And Drogheda seem to score more away at the moment. I'm veering towards a 1-1, to be honest with you, so I'll stick with that. UCD and Shamrock Rovers, can there be a shock here?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Exactly, just no.
I think I'd be comfortable enough for Rovers.
Yeah.
Rovers at home, are they? Yeah.
No, it's in the bowl, actually, yeah.
Is it? I'd say it'd be 2-0 Shamrock Rovers.
I don't want to be harsh on UCD, but I'll go 4-0 Shamrock Rovers. I think they might wipe the floor with them, yeah. Especially if they score early. Sligo over to Shelbourne on Saturday. I mean, it's an interesting game because if Sligo were to win this, now they're above Shelbourne, this kind of thing. So we're getting this flip thing again. So you're talking about a team in fifth and a team in seventh, and if the team 7 wins, they're ahead of the team in fifth. So, we could see that happening as well. Shelbourne are unbeaten in 6 or 7 matches as well, so they might be due a defeat here. Who knows?
Yeah, or it could lead to them getting a result. So it's hard to know. So I think Shell's going to win this one, 2-1.
I think if Hartman is fit and he can stay on the whole 90 minutes, I think that'd be huge for them, and his combination play with Matt and that. I have a sense Sligo might nick this, so I'll go 1-0. Sligo Rovers. Right, guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think of the refereeing decisions, any of the games, predictions. Thanks again, Luke. Fair play to you. Subscribe to the channel, lads. Thank you.